Welcome back. Here we are on Elmcreek, plugging away. Now, a couple things real quick. I did delete and reload the map, and it turns out that it didn't fix what I was hoping to fix. So I've seen a couple people that are playing Elm Creek and on 25 here, and they don't have this little dip here of what's going on. So not too sure. However, it's not game breaking. Just have to make sure we don't drive over it. So we're just gonna have to leave it as is, and maybe one day we'll be able to figure it out, and maybe one day we'll be able to actually be able to fix it. Who knows? Maybe another project for later. Also, too, real quick here, the AI issue that we were having. So it turns out when we're the AI from here, it's not working. So AI work stopped unexpectedly, no field found. Obviously, if we go into them, we go set destination, we go right here. Hey, go right there. And they just sit there forever and ever and ever, ever, and ever, ever. So then what we'll do, onto the road, and then we try again. Boom, set destination, and then we can go right here. There we go, and away they go. So just a matter of, because it's a modded map, right? So it's just a matter of the programming for the AI of how they are, where they are, like where they're allowed to or programmed to go to and from. So just there we go. Good to know. So moving on from here, we did do a little bit of off-camera work. So we did touch up some things and just did a little bit of decoration. So what we did was we just added in. We did have that in 22 in the same corner, so we were able to duplicate that. We were able to put in a couple extra little details here and there, a little bit of grass around them, little old forklift right there. Decided to take out the dumper and put in a school bus. I slapped it down. I was like, I kind of like the look of that. We got all our pallets all stacked up there. Got some decoration there. So less is more sort of thing, but also too, it's the artist's discretion, right? So you can put in a little bit more, we can put in a little bit less. It's up to you. So I like it the way it is, so we're going to leave it there. And then what we also did was we just put a little bit of runs through on the road. We can add a little bit more here if we wanted to, some tufts here and there, and that might come and go as we go. Now there's also a little bit more work to be done here, which is this last little bit. There's our worker right there coming to show, do the thing. So right, where are we going here? We want to go there, and then we went there and there. All right, so it's actually pretty simple. All we're gonna do here, let me just see the picture here because it's a couple trees, and then we just have to cut our fields. So giving me 1 second here, we go down to the trees. I think it was nope, that was the smaller one. That one. Nope, it was a single. Oh, hopefully we have it. We may not. Oh, we're getting into the bigger ones. Yes. Okay, so we may not have it. So what we can do is, that's a little too big. That's a little too big. That's close enough. So we're going to do that one. We're going to say that one can go right about there. Oh, land's not owned by me. Right, here we go. So just at the edge, poop, pop that down. And then there was a little one that we had, which may be in the more bushes. That was, I think, something like, let's try right over. Oh, you know what? That's not too bad. Okay, so that's there, and then all we have to do is just cut in the field. So then what also too, prior to that, what we also did was, what I like to do is just kind of like field entrances, right? So when it comes to the painting, what we'll do is we'll grab our dirt and we go into the circles, and then all we do is we just kind of like work it in as if you're working into, and you've been like driving in and out of the field, right? So just little touch-ups back and forth there, and then you do it right in where you want. And then, yeah, given that little spot there, we can do that. And it kind of runs down a bit, so we can maybe have that pop down there. And then that right a bit there. There we go. So that's going to be the entrance to this field. And then, like I said, we're going to be cutting the new field, right? So the way that I like to do it, just any field that we have as we get it, once we realize what's going on with the field and how it's going to be used, so to speak, then what we'll do is that we'll expand it or we'll change it to what we want. So that's not so bad. And then we can even just go in a bit because we're going to be cutting more as we go. So right about there, that should be good. We'll use that little dark spot there. Excellent, excellent. So then we're going to grab ours here and just double check. Yeah, we did leave there was a little bit of a bump over. So then from here, we're going to grab our allow tools, allow create fields, yes. And we want to turn it. Hold on, because when we're going this way, that's going to swing out. Whereas if we're going this way, that's going to swing in. Well, let's just try this way. All right, so from here, and that looks like, yeah, we want it pretty close, right? We've got a pretty big entrance, so we don't want to be too nuts on going too far. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a good spot. So let's go up here and let's just see how the turn takes it. So I like to try to ease in nice round turns if I can. As if there we go. Yeah, okay, so that is where, oh, you know what? That's right. We're going the wrong way that way. So, yeah, 22 didn't have that little dip. So let's try this way. There we go. Okay. And then, yes, you know what? We went out way further than that last time. So that little spot right there, just because the entrance won't let you do that. And I remember running into that. With 22 as well. So that does, there we go. There we go. Okay. So then we just try to pick a line. Doesn't have to be exact. I mean, you can get into the bearings if you want to. I just try to eyeball it as if we're sitting in the tractor, you know, right, making our field, but we also want to get as close as we can to maximize our area, so to speak. So then here we did a nice little turn, and then we came around like so. There we go. Yeah, nice. And then the same thing. Come in here. Cut that in like that, and then I remember we bumped in. Oh no, let me just double check. Yep, that says in the picture there. It looks like so. I think it was about here, maybe. We're gonna do that. Let's see about that, because then we had some bushes, and then we had the 2 elms. Okay, so then we're gonna ease that over like so. Boom. Voila. Okay, so now we have that started. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this in again right here. Because now, even though that did hit like that, we can use the paint to just fill it back in and round it out. So let's just go right here for a second. Now here, we can get our grass. Now we want to be putting our grass. There we go. Right there. Try to work it in if we can. You can see where it. Oh, yeah. So land's not owned by us. That's okay. So that's going to fill in there, and then we'll kind of ease it in there, maybe. How's that? And then here. Oh. It's not owned by you. That's okay. That's okay. We should. Okay, is this not? There it is. Oh. Okay. Looks like we cut a little too far. Usually in 22, yeah, see, it lets us paint like that, and then right. Yeah, so at 22, it let you overhang, and if you overhung a bit, it would let you paint out a bit. But it's just not letting you on this one. Okay, so that's okay. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to touch this back up, and then we're going to kind of make it a little bit not so apparent when it comes to that square there. So we're just going to connect this spot right here. I still see a little bit of that one little spot of black there. Right about there. There we go. There we go. Not so bad. Not so bad. Okay, so now if we do painting. Oh, unless that might be a load thing. Or sorry, a reload thing. And oh, okay. So it's just a little dip. So I would like to think when we reload, that should flatten itself out. And even if it doesn't, that's okay, because that's what we got paint or grass for. So now we're just going to bring it in a little bit. We can overhang a little bit as well. Oh, we cut into the. Oh, too bad. Oh, grr. Okay. Well, I mean, once we plant it grass, I think that should be okay. Should be okay. Let's just see here. So we get that. So one thing I have noticed too, when it comes to the painting and landscaping and what have you in 25, is that it does take. It's like a loading factor where sometimes it takes a little smidge to actually load it in, reload it in. Now cut that in. Oh, we got a little bit of that. That's See, this is where we could reload and start again. Okay, yeah, we started over. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. Now that we know, right? So the idea also, while it was reloading, is what we're gonna do too, just to give us an idea. And I think I did this in 22. It's been a while, so we can grab just something different, and we can just paint. And yeah, see, there we go. So there's our line. So we can do that, and then I think, see, then it becomes one of those where the square is. Ah, there it is. So there's a square right there, and then it kind of takes it around. So what we can do, yeah, we can cut it in a little bit closer, because we can just put the grass over top of that and repaint that. So now we know where we can't touch. All right, let's try this again, shall we? So, and then we're going to have it pointing it that way. So we have our edge. All right, so we're gonna go back to and we forgot to do that too. Save. We're gonna save because I forgot to save that before we did, so I had to redo the mud and the trees. But actually, while I was busting around, I did find a large cherry. It was, I think it said large cherry. So yep, put that one in there. Look, it looks pretty close, a little bit closer to what it did. And from here, so now. So now the line, I'm thinking we don't want to be going too close, but we're going to be coming around this way. So we can that would be a good, right about there maybe. I mean, we can give it the grace at the front. I mean, I remember it being close though. I think we got rid of this grass part. All right, here we go. And, allow crate fields. All right, so now we use this line, and then what we do is nice and slow, and here we go, there we go. Oh yeah, I like it. And then right there, and then we try to hold that nice straight line there. Yeah, see, the pictures look like it's so much closer than that, but I guess not. Oh, we are going one out. Oh yeah, we could backtrack and do one out. I don't mind. Like, it all depends on how particular you are. I don't mind the little pops out, pops in sort of thing. It all depends on how extreme it is. There we go. Yeah, it was a nice. Yeah, there we go. Nice and close. And then this one, same thing. We're gonna start here and then try to get it all the way around. Nice and easy. Oh, looks like, okay, we can put in a little bit of grass there. That's no problem. Oh, we're getting a little close there too. Okay. And then from here, go out. And then we go in, or in and out. All right, and then we do the nice turn, try to connect that. Oh, wait, a little bit right there. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So that is the circle for that field. And again, yeah, we could cut out one more line if we really wanted to. And then here, I don't know. We could just leave it like that. Because, I mean, technically we were doing grass, right? We don't have to, but in this field we were doing grass. So that would be there. Okay, so then now when it comes to the other field, it's pretty much the same thing, except this one's technically, I would say, kind of easier. I do like that circle, so we're going to save it right there. Because then we just have to fill it in, right? So I just have to pull out my crayons and fill in that field. And then from this field, it's the same thing. So we cut in around here. And then we had this path for the bunkhouse. Kind of played it up as the bunkhouse. And then we went around here. So yeah, the way, I mean, we could do it. You know what? Let's try cutting it the other way this way. So let's try. Oh, and yeah, don't forget our paint. Don't forget our paint. So we want to grab our paint. See where we can get. Oh, this one can go. Oh no, that okay, yeah, that is looks like, yeah, that's about the same there. Okay, so that's there, and then yeah, we can go all the way if we want here. So that's our edge there. Okay. So now we're gonna cut it the other way. Let's try cutting it the other way. Would be kind of neat though. It actually did put up little piles. Oh, that's a little close. No, you know what? Maybe that's not so bad. Okay, so now yeah, cut it around. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we gotta find our line. We could just kind of keep it straight there, and then we did get really close to the to the fence here. And this one doesn't really, yeah, see this one, I don't feel like it jumps out as much because that's, excuse me, the overhang isn't so far. And then this one we just have to keep close to the road or the path. There we go. I like it. Eased along with it. There we go. Oh, it's getting closer and closer. There's a couple bushes and 2 elms. So then nice along there, and then ease it back. Oh, turn, baby, turn. Oh, too much. Or not enough, sorry, I should say. Oh, we got to cut that back. Yeah, we might have to cut that back. What do we think? Yeah, we'll cut that back a smidge. Just a smidge. So we're going to keep it square. There, and then we go gravel. Right there. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a nice line. And then we just got to touch up that grass a smidge. We'll keep it square so we don't have to. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of overhang. That's not so bad. Okay. All right, so that's cut. All right, so now what we need to do is we roast the 2 elms. American elms, large cherry. Wait, what? Hold on. Really? Huh. Interesting. Okay. One moment. Well, I'm going to fill these in, and when I fill these in, let me just look into this because, yeah, I could have sworn we had an American elms. One moment. Okay, so unfortunately, no to the American elm. That is not going to happen. So from here, we're going to have to use another tree. But what we're also going to do, I did get this in, so we're just going to try the AI work here and say, yep, go ahead. And there we go. So now we've got that filled in as well. So the fields are filled in to where they should be for where they are from 22. And then the trees wise, I'm looking around, and unfortunately right now on console, there is nothing that is an exact American elm, but there's different options. The biggest ones that's close would be this large northern catalpa, and again mixing my words, and then the large Tilla amurensis is, you know what, I kind of feel like this is probably the closest. Like the American elm has a taller trunk, but I mean it does have the full body on this, so I think we're gonna go with this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to find a happy medium right about maybe there. We're gonna scare this guy. Kabam! All of a sudden, that tree shows up. Boom. Okay. Okay. Interesting. That was the same one, but apparently we got 2 different versions. Okay, cool. I like it. So there we go. Oh man, that just, it's bringing me chills here. That's in. We didn't have, I was thinking about a fence out here way back in the day, but we didn't do it. So we're just going to leave that. We can leave the AI running and get that all plowed out. Holy jumping. I want to say I think we're good to go. There's just quick little things. That was right. We did grab, so we're gonna grab a couple little tiny bushes here. Major. And then we're gonna grab maybe a couple of those. Too close. Oh, come on. Anytime now. Oh, okay, so we don't want. Oh, it's gonna go. Okay. And then we can do a little medium around there. Fill that in. Easy. And then we're gonna grab a couple more bushes. Just fill a little corner in, get a couple tufts. Ooh, a little bigger. Bit of a bigger one. Okay, we'll use that. Perfect. And then I think these are yeah, there we go. There's a couple smaller ones. Smaller one there. And then we put a couple right there. How's that sound? Now, up here, we can fix this right here, right now, and grab our grass, put this back in here, and then just kind of go nice and easy. I don't really want to worry about getting too close because, I mean, technically dirt is going to flop over. So we're just going to put the grass back on there, and then we're going to put the actual grass. This is where, again, artist's discretion. I mean, we could put some medium and short. So I'm going to do some short right along the edge, and then we're going to do a little tufts of medium because I think that's the medium that the game is. I think, that looks like the long, actually. Yeah, that is totally the long. So we can kind of maybe work that in a little. It's a little bit of medium, and then we'll just a little bit of tufts of long. There we go. Perfect. Beauty. All right, and then they got 2 trees. We're good. We're good there. Water thing, that actually, whoopsies. That one actually went because we got rid of that. We didn't use that. So that's gone. All right. And then now again, when it comes to little decoration, we can put little tufts. We are waiting. I can't wait for that straw harvest to come back out. So once the straw harvest comes back out, or I'm hoping that a similar silo pops up so we can pop that in. And we're not putting the Taylor in yet until we can move into our house. But we did park some things there. So we got John Deere over there, that sort of stuff. We got that worked away. That's ready to go. Okay, I think it's ready to save. Let's save it up. All right. You know what this means? This means it's time to move into field 2. Okay, so field 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes a full circle, and then it comes back around 79, 80. So we can say 79 and 80 is officially done. Now, also, too, the good thing is that that was field 14. Okay. Nope. Yes, field 14. So field 14 was modified as well, but the good thing is that was a crop. That was actually field for grass. So we can actually do that. So that's going to be another outline, but that was a big one. We actually extended it all the way out here and got all that stuff all worked into a field store. That was actually a really handy one. And then all 3 of these, this one, and this one, were grass. That was what all of our grass fields, that's what our whole farm was supplied with grass with. Okay, so now let's get out of here so we can, actually, you know what? We can stay in them so every time we know what's going on. All right, so now moving on, we want to be hitting up these 2, 3 fields. So the way I did it is because it's all about transitions, right? It's all about the transitions for me is starting into a good transition or getting that initial plant. So when I started, I picked this one. Now this one, I picked my level. My known good level was, I think, about there. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to get to here. We're going to grab John Deere. Now this is where you're going to need a tractor or a vehicle or something. It's kind of iffy when it comes to like the pickup truck, because the pickup truck has really stiff suspension. So that could go both ways, where it could actually show you really well where some issues are, but also to a degree, we don't want it perfectly flat in certain areas, right? So This is where our tractor is. This is where I'm kind of thinking when we did it before, when I was doing the expansion, I decided that, okay, I want to kind of come up in here and then do stuffs, right? So we're going to kind of come up in here and get stuffs done, and then we're going to come back out. And then I wanted to keep this road somewhat, initially I wanted to keep this road intact, which it did to a degree, I think, but I'll show you. We'll get there. So, oh, this is the great thing about testing and building and stuff, where I can drive through the crops and stuff. This is where I can get all of my shenanigans and tomfoolery out of my system. Okay, so let's back this up because we can't landscape right there. We are gonna save. You know what? I'm just paranoid, so I just like to save. So now from here, so now it becomes one of those. Like I said, the transition, right? So we're gonna get our level. We've got it all saved up. We're ready to go. Like I said, we want to be... Oh, land's not owned. Oh, hell. Well. Let's just fix that right now. Farmland. So we want to buy this one for 56,200. All right. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the wrong button. Click, visit, buy. There we go. So there we go. That's done. 56,232. Done. And then number 3, we want that one 49,152. Okay. So now when it comes to the leveling, it's all areas, right? So it's all like I start in an area and then I kind of work my way around and then I try to blend all my transitions in. And then anything inside of the perfectly level area, then you're free and clear when it comes to placements and placements and buildings and stuff with fairly good confidence that you're not going to mangle the ground. And then it's only when you get to the edges that's when things can go a little south. So, like I said, we want to figure out where our entrance is. So we've decided that this is our entrance. This is where we're going to be coming in. We can I used the old markings, just like the original, and then we picked our known goods. So we're going to start here. We're going to start here, schmalls. We're going to go in full intensity. I want full intensity. I want to be level. So there we go. So now we're going to work our way in and then go out a bit. Now this is where I don't like. I'm holding my X button and then I'm using with my right thumb and I'm using my left thumb to move the camera. And then I use my left thumb again to move the cursor. So now this is where we want to be going around and making our outline. So we're just going to be going up and trying to figure out where we can go. Now, again, I want to be keeping that road original. So we're going to get as close as we can to the road, so to speak, but we're also going to be trying to keep it. Again, holding the X button because I don't want to let go of the X button because we're holding a level. So if we're holding that level and I let go of the X button and I move the camera a little bit, again, I'm paranoid. So what I might do and what I have done is I might lose that level just a little bit, just by a few inches or a few feet, depending on how you want to run the scale. So can't. Yeah, see, that tree's interfering. Okay. So that's where I become paranoid, where I don't like to let go of the X once I'm holding on to it. Okay, so I'm still holding on to the X. This is where obviously we are bleeding money. So this is where, you don't want to be quick, but you kind of try to be a little quick. So now we're going to come right down. We want to try to keep that road original. These roads area. I want to do one area at a time. But I don't want to do one like little itty bitty fields. So we're just going to continue this here. Now again, we're going to move the camera, try to keep that cursor there. We want to keep the original road. So I'm going to kind of come up and sweep her. Oh, easy. Oh, calm down, Major. Calm down. There we go. Okay, so we've got our outline. So now we go full bore. Now we just let that game lag right out. Oh, I can just feel those. Excuse me. I can just feel those frame rate's dropping. Okay, so let's just get this all in here. I'm gonna level this up. And you can even go square and then get that in. But that's what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get this in. We're gonna go a little bigger now. Well, actually, you know what? Let's keep it a little smaller and we'll get a little good buffer on the edge. There we go. And then once we get that buffer on the edge, we're just gonna again fill in. Now, I do understand, so far the landscaping that I've been running into and that I've been doing in 25 with Riverbend testing through there, I have noticed that it does sometimes leave little bumps and such. So I've noticed that it's, if you save and exit and reload, that it's almost like the landscaping does catch up and does load properly, but fair warning, that means you have to save. So you better be real confident that you are liking what you want, liking what you have, and if it doesn't go right, you can just do small touches to fix it. So it looks like it's, yeah, see, and when we get out of the draw distance, and it's like you can see how the bump is still there. Okay, so this is good. This is good. We're still bleeding money. All right, so you know what? I'm just gonna stop right here. Oh, once I let go, it loaded. Okay, take a little minute. So now we're gonna get our tractor here. Okay. So now we're gonna come up here, and then this is where, oh yeah, see that little tiny bump? That little tiny bump is exactly what we want, because then we use our soften tool. We'll get there. 1 sec. Now we kept this pretty good. Kept that. Oh, this is going. And there's no, there's a good transition there. Oh, that's okay. We didn't hit anything there. That's good there. Okay. Yes. Yep. And then what we did, it's all coming back to me now. Things are clicking. Okay, so now we're just going to be zipping around, because this is where you just want to test. You want to check and test that you're not going to be hitting any ghost bumps up or down, because I have had that where you're just driving along and all of a sudden randomly you smack something. So we're doing good there. And then when it comes to this back road, again, when it comes to the transitions, right? So I like to keep that road, road original, and then we have that access to the backside road, or the back field here, and then there, and that goes this way. And then this field, we're going to cut that in. That will be off camera, so we'll do that later. And then this one, yeah, so right there. Oh yeah, see, we haven't even done any smooshing yet. Okay, so now, there we go. We're happy with this. So now we could save. We're gonna save. I'm pretty confident. This is just smoothing right now. So we're just going to touch up the edges of certain areas. We're not going to worry about other areas, because that is going to be for the next episode. That is going to be this road right here. We're not going to worry about, and this little spot right here, and the transition into these two fields. Do not worry. It's this spot right here that we're going to concentrate on. And then right around here, we're going to see if we can kind of bump that down. So we're going to get our soften, and we're just going to go a light soften, one scale up, and just the lightest soften, and just work that over as if you're driving over the bump, right? Up and down as if you're a vehicle. And that's what I like to do, is just kind of work it a little bit there, and then a nice soft transition. We don't want to go too far over, but I just want to touch on the edge there. And then same thing here. We're going to be bringing in our chickies. So the chickens there, we just want to soften it up. We don't want to be worrying about too crazy of a bump, but we also don't have to worry too much about a vehicle transition against these trees. This is just more of aesthetic wise, and then it's right here. So this is where it does get a little steep there. So what I'll do is I'll use the smaller one, and we're gonna transition right here. You can barely see it moving, but it is moving. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna work it down a little bit, and then from here, excuse me. You know what? Okay, we're gonna try the smaller one first. Kind of bring it together. Okay. And then now we're going to do the one size bigger and see if we can bring this whole spot right here, as if, because what we did was we had this where you were driving up and you drive up and around the chickens. So it's as if we're driving up and around. We're just going to work this up the bigger way. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to want to see is, how does that transition into driving onto the road? Oh, that is smooth. Oh, that is smooth. Okay. Okay, I'm excited. Then same thing here. We have that little bump. We can fix that, and then we come up here. Oh, you can't even tell that we're transitioning. Look at that. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And then back here, we're going to have some chickens. Okay, I see a little spot there. Yeah, we can soften that spot right there. Let's do that while we're close and we see it. So just a little soften there. Okay, that's more gooder. Ah, there we go. And again, we don't have to worry too much because that's going to be where the chickens are. And then right here, again, this is, oh yeah, because we're going to cut the road probably right about there where my tire tracks are. There you go. And it transitions right into that area. So now what we can do is we can start, we don't have to worry too much about the bottom end area transition because we actually have a little spot there. And then up and in we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so now that we have that all figured out and cleared up, so now we have this area to figure out and clear up. Now, the great thing is that because we were doing the leveling, as it comes across, it does level itself in certain areas. It's like in this area where we really don't need to do much softening just because it almost naturally leveled itself in. Now over there, except as it works its way down there. Now down here, like I said, we don't have to worry about it too much. And then over here, we're gonna leave it because this is the way it was. And then we're just gonna build it up a little bit with the grass and some bushes and make it all pretty like. And then over here is where we soften. So there is that little spot there by the tree. And I did double check in the pictures there, and we did actually soften it out and bring it out just a smidge. So now we don't want to be going too far in this way because this is where our greenhouses, excuse me, this is where our greenhouses are, and that's where we are going to be backing up and such. So we just want to bring it a little bit more in closer if we can. And again, we're getting too close to that tree. So yeah, the trees do have a little bit of a buffer around them. They kind of get a little finicky and temperamental. See, that's not so bad. See, yeah, I kind of like to flick it like a brush, right? So I do apologize about the camera jumping like that. That's me. I'm sorry. I'll try to work on that a little bit better. Okay, and yeah, see, oh yeah, see, we don't want to be going. Okay, I feel like we went maybe a little too far out, so that's okay. So then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab our known good level again. And then we're going to work it back out. Right there. See if we can just kind of make a nice line there. There we go. That's more gooder. That's more good. Okay, so known good because I let go. And then we come back again. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm not liking that little bump right there. So we're going to soften that down if we, yeah, so you got to go out a little bit to soften it down. Okay, that's okay. So now we're not going to be worried about detail too much when it comes to the softening around here. Just a little touch here, and then a little touch down around there. And then what I like to do, you know what? Yeah, see the sharp edge. That's the only thing that I'm kind of about is the sharp edge. So I'll just kind of, I don't want to be holding it because if you hold it, it's going to push it down. So I just kind of keep tapping it as I come across. I just little touch here and there. You don't want to get too close to the road because that can adjust the road a little bit, but just to get that sharp, yeah, just to pop that sharp edge off, right? Nice. Okay. So then that's going to have, so now we're going to have our clean edge. And then same thing over here. We just want to soften it out because we're going to be having our pasture right up against the trees. And again, there is a certain area here. Say I'm holding it. And there is a certain area here where it just kind of naturally leveled itself out. So we don't have to worry about too much. There we go. That's looking more gooder. All right. And then just because, you know what, we're going to soften this whole area right here. Just because. There we go. Then that's going to have a nice transition in there. And then we're going to run our fence. The fence is going to run around down here and across. And then from here, because up here is, like I said, we do have that nice transition here. We're just going to soften this all up now. Now we're going to work our way down to the road. Now this is where I don't want to be getting too deep into this next section because now it's going to be the transition, the cut into this field, as well as the transition into, hold on. You know what? Maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here because I'm thinking maybe what we should do would be better we should, yeah, let's pop buildings in. Or do we get the field in first? You know what? Maybe you know what? Let's just try this. Okay, we're liking. So let's just see what happens. Because this is where, again, when it came to the expansion, what we did is we started off in this field. We made our chickens, we made our sheep, we made some storage here, and then a couple spots of the flat bottom bins to hold our crops. And then we grew some more. And then once we grew some more, we worked into this field. So let's just see, because we want to be keeping this road. We kept this road au naturel right from the thing, and we kept this road au naturel. So we're going to be doing the same thing here. What do we got? Let's see. Let's just try it. You know what? I'm just paranoid. Oh yeah, I'm one of those people that even though I see the autosave, I still manually save. Okay, so with this one. We want to go square though. I definitely want to go square on this one because we want to be keeping it tight to the, tight to the edges. Now we did do that nice job of softening there, so we're gonna start known good right here. Go full intensity, small. Let's do this second smallest. We're gonna work our way in, and then we're gonna just work our way over here. Take out all the soil. I'm just going to start there, and that's the main thing, is just going to start there, and then we're going to see where we end up. Because I don't want to go too close, and I see how it is cut into the road a bit, so I don't want to go. We're going to work up a little bit. There we go, right about there. And then this is where we cut down and in. Yep. And we cut down and in just the soil. And then work our way back right straight down. Come on, baby. And then straight back there. Okay, so we did go over one. And then straight up. Oh, can I keep it straight? Ooh. Okay, right there. Oof. There we go. And then zip it into the middle. We'll do just one more little outer buffer. There we go. Yeah, this is where I get excited, and I don't want to be flinging the thing too much. Okay, and then we go big. And then fill all this in. Yeah, and then when we let go, see how you can still see it a bit. And then I've noticed that when I let go of the X button, it's all going to pop in. It seems like that's what happened last field. So let's just see if it does. And then what we do want to do is we are going to be crossing over into this field right here. So we're going to be filling this in, and then don't worry, we'll smooth that out. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. So our arc, yeah, okay, so it was a lot steeper because we definitely had a berm going on there. All right. That is good. And then now it comes to here, we did have that. So what we can do is we're going to go back to our level, and we're going to full intensity again. And then this one, I do remember we did bring it in just a little bit because we did have that. We did have that flat bottom bend just right beside the tree here. So that was there, and then we're going to move the camera while we're still holding the X button. And then we're going to just work this a little closer into the trees if we can. See if it'll allow us. And then we're going to have, I do believe it was like that. There we go. And then we're going to soften that in. Just close. Again, we want to keep keeping that road original, right? So I'm going to keep that in. Oh yeah. And then we're going to leave that there because we got the road. That right there. Okay. So now from here, now the thing is, when it comes to this, we can still be doing our edges. Now we just want to be softening a little bit. Nothing too crazy here, but we're just going to soften that a smidge. Just get that transition right here. There we go. I saw it go down a little bit, and then this is popping up. Just that nice, easy. Yeah, see the trees there. I got it. If I go too close. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's letting me do it. There we go. Oh, okay, yeah, that a little closer. And then we just pop that down. So then this is where we're going to just flick here and there. All right. And then we're going to do the little flick here and here as well. So now Oh, this changes things because in 22 we had a completely different transition. We still could do it though. Yeah, because we're going to be putting our grain silos there. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Now this one here, this is the next part where this is an interesting part where I kind of like to do the transition where this is exactly where I use the tractor. So we'll get to the little spot right there, hopefully. We're just gonna, let's just see here. We're gonna do a quick little thing here. We're just gonna see where the natural, see, that's the best, that's where I would start my transition, right? So it's like in 22, I think ours was a little bit longer, but yeah, it was straight up here. You come down, it was just a little bit of a jaunt. I'm gonna cut him off. Payback. So there we go. And then we come down here. You know what? That feels pretty good though. Ooh, see, we didn't even do any softening yet. And already that transition is right there. So I drive back and forth in the one area where I like it. And then that's when I know painting wise, that's where we should be doing our softening. So that's when we get our, grab our dirt. So then we know our area here. And then we don't want to be removing that road just yet. And then we just want to be having it right about there. I'd say that should be good there. So then we're going to go to our chauffage. And then we're just going to work that in just as if we were driving, right? As if we're driving in and out, back and forth, and just up and down. Like we don't want to be going too crazy because we have a little storage. Right here is where some bale storage is. So, and then we're going to have our trailer storage against the road. So you're going to come in here, your transition. Oh, that's nice and smooth. Okay. And same thing here. We're going to come in here. And we come down. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is great. So that's going to be our entrance. So there we go. So now we know our entrance into the area. Area is all same thing with the other side. Area is all ready to go for buildings. We got that good to go. And then our what we'll do is, what time is it here? Yee. Okay, let's continue on the next episode. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put in the entrance here because we're gonna have our entrance there. So we also have this entrance and transition that we're gonna be installing. So lots to do, lots more to do. But thank you again for watching. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks for sticking it out. This is fantastic. I'm so excited. Oh, this is all coming together, and the front area too with those two trees. I mean, I know they're not American elms, but poof. They sure do pop. Wonder if they'll ever match, though. Alrighty. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.